Hi, Dr. Greg here, and I want to apologize for the last video. I have no idea what happened. I made another video that I have no idea what happened, and hopefully this video will work. So I wanted to go through what that last video was about, and also I'm going to add an exercise into this video. So this is all about eye exercises and how you could help your eyes function better, which will actually help your brain function better. The area of where your eye movement is one of the most complicated movements that your brain gets involved in. It uses a lot of energy for you to move your eyes, simply side to side, in reading. And what happens is when we're working on a computer, you actually strengthen one part of the brain by keeping your eyes, and I'm going to show these little cups. Those are the dots of your eyes, keeping your eyes sort of focused this way, in, right? You're strengthening one part of your brain, which happens to be near the top half. Let's see, look at the brain stem. Remember that I told you about the midbrain where all the stress comes in? If you looked at my last videos, it actually accentuates that part of the brain, which causes increased stress. Without you even knowing it. You don't even know you have stress. It could cause increase in heart rate, increase in blood pressure, bad digestion, constipation, all that kind of stuff, because it's the sympathetic part of your nervous system that's getting stimulated when your eyes do that, okay? That's called accommodation. So what happens is that you're chronically like this because you're looking at a computer, and what your eyes need to do is to look forward, back and forth, right? So the other thing I wanted to talk about is the stability exercise, the fact that your eyes want to focus on an object that you're interested in, and they do that by getting their fovea, which is these little tiny round spots in the back of your eyes, and get them on the target. So the fovea gets you to look at the target and makes it more detailed. So when we're out here, okay, that's your peripheral vision. It's not so detailed, but when you get closer in, your eyes fixate on an object, and that creates greater detail. Now, what's interesting is that your eyes have to work together in order for you to get good focus. If they don't work together, then you get all kinds of things like blurriness. You can actually get dizzy, you can get nauseous, you can get eye strain, all sort of dry eye, all that kind of stuff. Dry eyes, as a side note, is related to sympathetic overstimulation. Dry eyes are what's happening when your sympathetic nervous system is getting stimulated too much. Your eyes get drier and they get tired. Your eyes always have to be moist in order to function normally, so you can move your eyes in your head. So let's talk about the first exercise that I gave you the last video, which didn't really work, and hopefully this one will. So those dots are the centers of your eyes, and what we want to do is we want to keep them so that they work together, right? We want them to be, when you move them, that they move together up and down and all that kind of stuff, so that you could focus on an object properly. Now, when you're on a computer all day long, your eyes are like this, and what happens is that they get strained and strengthened in one position, which actually can throw off your fovea, so that when you're looking at objects or reading or just trying to look around, that your fovea is off a little bit, and the fovea can be off by little as 2%, and you can have all kinds of problems with blurry vision, vertigo, nausea, all that type of stuff. So the first exercise that I talked about was to look at a dot, and that's the big dot back there, with your two eyes, and turn your head side to side in a no-no fashion. That's what the no-no your brain to good health, that was the last email and supposedly the last video that I had done. So what you want to do is you want to focus your eyes on that dot at greater than arm's length away. So it has to be further away so your eyes aren't accommodating, right? And what you want to do is turn your head side to side while your eyes remain fixated on that dot. Now, I make it a bigger dot because it's easier to keep your eyes fixated on it. So all you're going to do is look at that dot. Now, I won't do it because you won't see what my eyes are doing, but what you're going to do is I'm going to look at the dot right here that you could see, and it's a little off angle, but you want to be right on in line with the dot. And all you're going to do is turn your head and keep your eye on that dot, and you could see how fast I'm going. I'm not going very fast. You don't want to go fast. And what you want to do is that dot needs to stay still when you move your head, because it could actually move around. If it's moving around, that means your eyes are moving around, trying to focus on it. So you want to slow down so your eyes can remain on that dot. Just slow down. And what you want to try and do is you want to do 4 passes. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Now that's a little faster than I want you to do. Nice and slow so that the eyes remain on that dot. You can eventually get faster once you get better at keeping your eyes on that dot. So you want to go 4 times, and you want to try and do it 5 to 6 times a day. So break away from the computer, do your eye exercise, and you can go back to the computer. Now, the other exercise is also to help you with accommodation and try and strengthen your far vision. So right now what we want to do is, like, say those are the oddballs, those black dots, you're going to go in and out, in and out. So if you're chronically like this, looking at the computer or reading chronically, what you want to do is you want to do an exercise that actually gets them to go further. So what would that be? Simply, you can use your thumbs, thumb close and thumb far away, lined up with your nose. You see how it's lined up like that? You want it straight on, and you look at the close one and look at the far one. Look at the close one and look at the far one. Don't necessarily worry that they might be blurry. The idea is you're sort of lifting weights for your eyes. You want them to go in and out, in and out, in and out. And you want to do four to 6 of those throughout the day, not 4 or 5 times a day. You want to do them every maybe couple of hours, or maybe even every hour and a half. And all you have to do is, walk away from the computer and just do 1, 2, 3, 4, and you're done. It helps the eyes get sort of exercised. It also breaks you away from the computer. It's very important that we don't get fixated on a screen all day long, because that actually will cause not only eye strain, but other neurological problems that you can have with your brain. And we don't want that. So those are the 2 exercises that I'd like you to understand today. And again, I want to apologize for the last couple of videos that I did that I actually took off of YouTube. I don't know what happened. Hopefully this one will work. The next video I'm going to do for next week is very interesting. It's not going to be about eyes. I'm going to skip a week about eyes. It's going to be about COVID and vitamin D. Some very interesting research just came out, and we're going to talk about it. So with no further ado, this is Dr. Greg, changing the way we look at health. Have a great weekend.